Alright, as you can see, I'm turning a tree. I got a crooked tree. It's a tree for you and me, a crooked tree. Anyway, again, I gotta get a haircut. Anyway, this thing is crooked. It's that way. So, what do? When I do this, I can put it over here. Usually, what happens is when I do this, I saw it. Oh man, that's better. You move this in and out. So what it ends up doing is this side, like this, you move it this way. If you want less than that, you move it that way. Same thing with this. Well, I'm kind of working this one a little bit different than I normally do the other ones. So we'll see what happens here. Now you see what I'm talking about? So a lot of the times it's hard to deal with this taking the bark off. Bark, bark. So, because this side is further in, there's not that much taking off. Then I'll pull this side. So, not to worries, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Oh, hey, be happy now. Don't. Hey, by the way, did I say this is just a piece of wood? If it doesn't work, it's no big deal. That's how you train yourself, by the way. Why do I wear this? It's because now see the works out a little bit different. You notice that? Okay, so same thing with this side. Okay, so I made a little bit of a difference. See now, when you get to a certain point, you got a branch like this. That's pretty far away there, so you have to move things around to where they adjust right. Easily done. no problem. That way you got like a curve if you want it. Good to go. So we're gonna make another one. Now with this one, see how that much that is there? So what you got to do, again, you have to turn around, work with it, play it, go this way again, a little bit more. Now each time I move it, I only move it about, make an eighth of an inch. Now this one is going to be up higher, so I'm going to probably end it up right here. It's got too much in it for me to mess around with trying to save, so. Now you see that? You see that void? It's still there, right? No, this is when you start working backwards a little bit. So, this has to go further that way, which you got to be careful now because you're kind of pushing it with the edge of this thing, so. Now, if you can't get it to go this way, you can always pull it this way. Get it? Got it? Good. See now how it's turning out a little bit better, right? So the reason I don't use that much bigger of a tool is because it's pushing against the mosses. When I say masses, I mean just it would be difficult to operate now. You could stand a chance on putting too much pressure on it. Then it goes shoot. Now you see how that's getting all furred up like that? Furred up and furred up. Not fired up, it's furred up. Now that's easy to do with that other one. Okay, it does this, and it's the wood type of wood you're using. It's burning it up a little bit. Well, guess what? It's not a problem. I got the solution for it, baby. Yeah, just sand it a little bit more. Usually that does the trick. Thank you. You see, you just work it, see? Now, I'll tell you something right off the bat. Don't try and stand in there with your fingers. That just gets nasty on your fingers, man. It's just nasty. So, and everything is kind of offset anyway. If you were doing a straight piece of wood, that would be one thing, but there's a ring right here, I gotta get rid of. There's one right there, I can see. The burr, that's where the burr is, right there, see? Inside of this is not too bad at all. It actually turned out pretty good there. But what I like to do a lot of times is just basically sand this thing down. And just get it where it's where you want it. I don't think I need to tool this anymore, but there's the only problem you stand doing here. Yeah, I could maybe I should just do a little bit there. Just a little bit. Always wear your mask. See, that looks a little bit better like that. My doing my bells are kind of like, they kind of suck at this point, but yeah, I don't know. I forgot what it could be using this. Oh, this is 320, so something with a little rougher grain on it. Yeah. Now the hard part is trying to take that off. And I usually use a saw for this, but I'm going to do this. Now, what you do, what I normally do is I take this over and I sand it off on my drill press. Gotta take this down. Although, I think I could do a lot of this by hand. No, it's not bad. Okay, so like I was saying, you can real simple. It's about 4 inches, maybe. Measure that. See, you can take stuff like this too and do the same thing. Same idea. A little bit bigger. This one's a little bit bigger, but the same idea. All right, and you can get them looking funky. Honky daisy. You see how that one is? Oops. See that? So, don't tell me you can't do it, because you can do it. And that's a pretty simple one. Now, that's how I show people how to do it. And there's a couple of tools I use most of the time. Okay. This one here, a a CI4, I 4 a C 14 a CI 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I 4 I It's a carbide tip. It's got a point on the end of it. Pretty easy to control. Then I've got this one, which is a little bit dull, but that one works. Works good. Sometimes I use this one, but this one's dull. So I have to sharpen that. And, well, you saw me use this. That's just basically to smooth it up with. Most of the time I only use 3. Now, these 2, this one's curved. This is so if I was to go like this, I could go in here like this and clean this up. That does the same thing. Same idea. But the reason I didn't is because you see how narrow that is? See that? So I do it if the piece of wood I'm turning is equal all the way around it or close to it or bigger. You know, like the bigger ones I do, this is the ones I do. But that's it right there. Now you can see on the bottom, I moved it a couple times, right? Same thing with the top. I moved it. And what I'll do is I usually sand this off. But it's pretty simple at the end of the day. You want to learn turning. This is actually a pretty good idea to use to turn. You get an idea when you could do an offset turns. Thanks for watching Dutchman's Woodchuck. And remember, if you're not making sawdust, you're not being creative. So get with it. God bless. Have a great night.